Hey everyone, welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today I have 75435 Battle of Felucia Separatist MTT. This released August 1st, 2025. It retails for $160 and has 976 pieces. On the back of the box shows another look at the MTT and some of the play features on the build, along with all the droids and minifigs, with a nice background of the planet Felucia. The last MTT that LEGO released was in 2014, so there's been a pretty big gap, and this is the first time getting the Separatist MTT in the blue and gray color. This is a set that's part of a very overpriced wave of LEGO Star Wars sets, and this is one of the more bad ones, with 976 pieces, but $160. The price per piece is pretty horrible right there. You'll get my final thoughts at the end of the video, but without further ado, let's get into the review. Starting with Ayla Secura, we haven't gotten this minifigure since 2017, so it's nice that she's made a return, and this is a pretty good minifigure. I like the torso and leg printing, getting, an updated look and a more accurate one too. She has one blue arm and one brown arm because her outfit has one full sleeve. The mold for her Leku looks really good, showing the detail of the wrappings around them, and it's pretty much the same one as the previous version, but it is a good mold. She has two face prints, with the first one being, like a default with a smile, and the second one being a more angry when she's in battle, and then there's the rest of her outfit on the back, which looks good. And she, of course, comes with her blue lightsaber. Overall, this is a pretty good Ayla Secura minifigure, and it's nice that she's made a return. Next up is Commander Bly. This is the first minifigure for this clone, so it is awesome that we've finally gotten Commander Bly in LEGO. Starting with the torso printing, there's a few things that are kind of wrong with it. Starting with the belt, the whole belt is supposed to be fully yellow, but there are some white spots. And then the ammo satchel on his shoulder is supposed to have 3 pouches, whereas this one has 2. Maybe there just wasn't enough room, or LEGO could have just made them smaller. And the yellow line on his chest is more supposed to be some of that brown there on his helmet. And then the leg printing looks good with the actual leg and the knee guards, but of course, the worst part is the printed waist capes. I don't see why LEGO still does it. The physical waist capes is just the better way to go and just would make these minifigures even better. The helmet has the newer macro binocular piece, which has came out recent years, and I do like the look of it. Maybe if it had some printing for more detail, it would look better, but the mold is good. Like the torso printing, the helmet has a few things that could be better. The bottom half of the helmet is supposed to be fully yellow, up in the cheekbones there, but with the recent clone troopers with that gray area on the cheekbones just makes it a little bit more inaccurate for this helmet. And then there's the printing on the top of the helmet. Essentially, it's supposed to be more of a dark brown per the on-screen, but it's not really here, and I just don't I think the line is too long, it's too thick. And I think the yellow printing is supposed to be all the way down the whole bottom half of the helmet as well, whereas this one is white, but it just looks like it cuts off. Overall, it's an okay printing. It's definitely not the worst compared to other clone troopers that we've gotten, specifically the 212th Legion. Those were definitely the worst printing on the helmets, not even looking like the on-screen appearance, but I don't think that this helmet printing is the worst, but it definitely could have been better. And then there's the rest of the clone armor on the back printing. The face print is the same as any other clone, except for Captain Rex and Commander Cody, who got unique face prints, but it is the same, like Commander Fox got a regular face print. And then the last thing about Commander Bly is the newest physical pauldron, which also released in the 327th Battle Pack. I am a fan. I don't think it looks terrible. I think it definitely could have looked better. I think it hangs too high off the shoulder, and of course it makes it look like the clone's neck is a little bit taller, but I think it works for the 327th. And I still think cloth pieces are really good. It is nice to finally get Commander Bly in LEGO. I just wish there were physical waist capes to elevate these minifigures. Making a return since 2013 are the Commando droids, which is very awesome to see. These minifigures have updated printing on the torso and head, which looks really good. The printing looks nice there on the lower half of the droid body and then on the top half, and I really do love the head printing as well. It looks really good. The previous Commando droids were in this all dark brown color, whereas these new ones are in a dark gray. And on the back, there's no printing. It seems a lot is making a return in this set, and it's very cool to get Commando droids again. They are a very cool droid. Next is the pilot battle droid with a blue torso with some printing in the middle. It looks the same as previous, so really nothing different there. And lastly, it comes with 6 regular B1 battle droids, which looks the same as previous years. The first build in the set is a STAP for the battle droids, and it is a slightly different design from the one in 2024 in the Clone and Battle Droid Battle Pack. It's slightly different in just what pieces are used here on this top section, as well as the cannons. These are shorter than the previous, but the design is mostly the same, and it's a pretty good looking STAP. I definitely would have loved maybe a sticker or a printing on this slope here with the like design of the Separatist stap. But there's plenty of space for a battle droid to fit, and it sits atop a clear stand to look like it's flying. Overall, I think it's a solid design for a stap. Now for the Separatist MTT, upon finishing the build, I really did notice how small it was. This is really a smaller MTT than previous versions, and it just does not help the fact that this set is $160. Starting off here at the front, in the middle is a big printed dish, which looks really good. On the bottom are the two laser cannons. They're ball turrets with some pieces attached. I do think that the barrels on this build are very short compared to the on-screen, and definitely do think that they should have been longer. It would have looked more accurate. Moving on, near the top, there are two stud shooters on each side, which fire studs. And then at the top here are stickers for the droid eyes, which look accurate. And then there is a small section up here. You can simply just take this part off. It's attached by 4 studs, and these flaps come down and reveals a small interior for a space for the pilot droid. There is a stickered control panel right there, and then there is a space for a blaster. Moving on to the side of the MTT, I do like the design here at the bottom with the different angles, and then there is a stickered piece of the Separatist Alliance logo, and just a mix of tiles and plates, both light bluish gray and dark blue. And then the back panel design continues with the wedge plates and the tiles here continuing that light bluish gray and dark blue color. And then on the top here is really not much detail. This one has a more flat, like uphill design here, whereas the actual MTT has a different structure. And especially continuing up here to the back top section, this build just feels very empty and not very detailed here. And then on the back just has some more dark blue pieces. So there is some interior space here on the back. You can simply just lift up the flaps on the midsection and each side to reveal it. So on each side, there are 4 blasters for the droids to arm themselves. And there is also some standing room for the droids. And then you can see the ball pieces down here, which can allow the MTT to move on a surface. These front panels do lift up as well. I guess there is just some studs here for droids to fit, but there's really nothing else. And it just shows the interior and where the droid rack sits when it's all the way in. I do like how when these big panels come down that it does connect with the front ones. And now for the main play function of the MTT, which is of course the droid rack. Here at the back is a round piece here that you simply just turn and the droid rack comes out and plants down. You simply just fold up the droids and attach them by the back stud, and it can fit a total of 6, so pretty small. And then by twisting the opposite way, it simply reverts the play feature. The droid rack feature is done very well, just being able to twist this back piece and it just comes out. I think this is a good looking Separatist MTT. I do not like how it is pretty small, but the overall design is pretty good. The back section isn't the most accurate, but I do like how detailed and the overall design of the panels and how they connect. I do wish that the top rear section had more detail as well as the back. The droid rack function is very good. I just wish, because of the small build, it is a pretty small rack and can only fit 6 droids, so I definitely do wish that it was bigger. There's not much interior space, but I'm glad that there is just a little bit to where you can fit a couple of droids in there. With the review section over, now it's time for my thoughts on the set. I like it. I think it's a good set and a very good Clone Wars set. Of course, with the Separatist MTT and the minifigures that you get. It's really nice for the Commando droids to make a return, and for the very first Commander Bly. I just wish that it was in a better age of, clone troopers with the physical waist capes and just more accurate looking printing. I definitely do think that this MTT is very small. I've never had any of the previous MTTs, but I always think about that 2007 version, which was pretty big and could fit a lot of droids. And, since then, they've kind of been downsizing. The 2014 one got smaller, and then this one I feel like got even more smaller. I think the MTT looks really good overall, and I really do love the blue and gray. This is my favorite MTT, which is the Separatist version, but I definitely do think it's very small, and I just could not unsee it after I finished building. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty small. I do like the stap being an extra accessory, and I think the minifigure lineup is very good. Now talking about the main criticism of this set, which is the overpricing. This whole August 1st wave is just horrible when it comes to the pricing. This one and the Turbo Tank probably for me is the worst, or the 327th Battle Pack. So this one has a little over 900 pieces and is $160. I mean, that is not good. The price per piece ratio is just not great at all. The Turbo Tank is even worse, being about 100 pieces less than this and still $160. This should not be nowhere near $160, and the size of the MTT does not help that at all. Like I said, it is pretty small. Now, the play functions are good. I do like these small interior spaces that you can fit a couple of droids in. And of course, my main favorite feature being the droid rack. It's satisfying being able to have it go in and out using the brick at the top. But yeah, overall, I think it is a good set. LEGO really has to do something about this pricing. It is getting out of hand, and it's getting worse as more sets come out. Definitely maybe coming with a few more droids could have added a little bit more to the set, with it being a downsized MTT with not a droid rack that's pretty big and can fit a lot of droids. Obviously 6 is what came with it because that's what it fits, but I definitely do wish that there were maybe a few more droids. It would not have helped the price all that much, but it just would have added a little bit more to the set. And for this being a droid vehicle, maybe 8 to 10 droids would have been awesome. For the Clone Wars, this is definitely one of the better waves. I mean, getting a turbo tank, a V19 Torrent, 327th battle pack, MTT Separatist version, like, it's a pretty good wave. It's just the prices that ruin it. It's almost reminiscent a little bit of the Attack of the Clones wave back in 2013 with the ATTE, Gunship, Spider Droid, like all the clone and droid sets. You know, it's reminiscent of that a little bit. It's just the prices really bring it down a lot. I just can't recommend this set. If this was around 90 to 100, that's a whole different story. I feel like at around 80 to $100 with 900 pieces and what you get, I feel like that is way more worth it, but $160 is just way too overpriced for what you get. So my final thoughts are, I think this is a good set, a very great Clone Wars set with what you get and the minifigures and the build, but it's just way too overpriced, and for that, I do not recommend. Anyways, that was my review of the Separatist Alliance MTT, so definitely lightsaber slash that like button and hit subscribe with post notifications on so you know when I upload. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.